All right, so red day recap. I want to do this one real quick. I don't want to wait like I did the first one I did. So this will be the second red day of the month for me. And again, the good news is that this one was all on me and not the strategy. The bad news is that this was all on me and not the strategy. So, but the real good news is it's not actually follow my risk management plan and all, with the fact that I did trade against the strategy, um, it didn't end up like the first one did for this month. So, all right, real quick before I get into this video, you can see I don't have my camera on. That's because there's some other stuff going on behind me. So if you hear some background noises, just kind of ignore it pretty much. Um, but let's go ahead and get right into this. So I just want to real quick go ahead and just go over what happened today. Let's go over the trades today, and kind of to fill in for not putting a video up, or since I'm not going to be doing a stream on Monday, this can kind of give you a little bit of content, and maybe you can pull something from this. Now I know a lot of people, when you see this, you're gonna mostly look at what happened and what I did and stuff like that. But the purpose of me making like videos like this recaps is mostly about whether it's a red day recap, or it's a green day recap. The main purpose is to look at the psychology of it, right? So I just I'm just gonna put that out right there, and I want to make this video without doing any edits. So just it is what it is. All right. So I took one trade, like the first trade I took. I saw this bearish momentum coming in. So, but I did also see the resistance, or the bear or the bulls fighting back. So I saw the support there with the price action, and I saw it could be pretty choppy. But I did see there was a lot of the size of these red candles, and just looking at, there's a lot of short-term bearish momentum. So I'm looking at this as taking shorts, expecting not to have any huge plays to the short side, but I am seeing a lot of opportunity short. However, just the strategy alone, this would is more set up for taking long plays. All right, so the strategy alone says bullish, even though I'm trading bearish because of what I'm seeing in the structure and the price action, right? So the lesson of the day, I posted this on Twitter. The lesson of the day is really just to stick to the strategy. When don't worry about and I know the strategy is solid because I back tested it, and and it's worked out for me in the past. Even when trades went against me, it worked out better for me when I traded with the strategy versus trading against it. And you see that first trade right there, I took that short, got out for a break even after hitting the first target. So I was up about $57 at this point. Not a huge play, just a quick in and out break even play. Fast forward a little bit, and I'm playing this at twice the speed, so that's why it's going so fast. I don't want to make this video super long, and I don't have a lot of time to make this, but to do this recap without messing up everything in my schedule for the rest of the day. But so at this point, I'm looking to take another trade. I haven't set anything up yet. Putting some notes there about that trade. That one happened before I got to put the screenshot in and everything. That was a quick in and out. But I did get to take the screenshot, so that's a positive on that one. Let me go ahead and fast forward a little bit. Oh, went too far. All right, so on that second, I saw some more bears come in on that second dip. I'm going to go ahead and pause it right here and explain what I'm looking at. So I'm seeing all this bearish momentum. I did look at I think it was the 30-minute chart. So I looked at the bigger picture, and I saw a lot of potential to the short side if we, made it down there. So, I'm looking to take a short there. Now, on the first one, I put this in a note, so you can go to the mv3trader.com/journal and look at the journal for the day to see everything that I typed about the trades that I took. But what I saw earlier was on that first play that I took is that I actually could have entered in on a micro pullback, even though I took the break. but I saw that I could have entered in on a micro pullback. So on this one, I was thinking about doing the same thing, but still recognizing that this one wasn't as strong as that previous one. So I went ahead and placed this one with a plan on doing my regular risk management and loading in if it goes against me, and then taking advantage of all this resistance up here. So go ahead and hit the play. So that one did get filled, and I did have an opportunity. I had plenty of opportunities actually just to kill it, but I'm still thinking about that momentum to the short side. But at the same time, I am trading against the actual strategy. Also, I'm not looking really for. Well, on this second trade, I am looking for, like, I'm thinking I see a lot of potential to short side, so I'm thinking like if it breaks this low right here, then it could run. But I'm not looking to take a home run play here. I would basically just have traded it to the next level. I'm not even sure if I actually was able to set up the targets. Also with this one, Leeloo, not Leeloo, Ninja Trader messed up my ATM strategy again by putting all of the contracts in one order for the target. So that's not supposed to happen that way. So that got me into freestyle mode because I had to start, unloading and scaling out of the position manually, which I don't necessarily like to do. I just like to use my levels. But in this situation, it actually helped me with it, I was already in the mindset to, freestyle it and unload the positions manually. So nothing, out of the ordinary there. So I'm just gonna let this play and then just talk about pretty much the hindsight of it all. So in hindsight, I did get several opportunities. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. I'm gonna have to let the whole thing play. I did get several opportunities to kill the trade for either less of a loss or a little bit of profit. And once I got, right now is, we're trying to trade lower. So it did go back below my average price, or actually before my entry, because I haven't even loaded in yet at this point. So it did go back below my entry at one point, and I took some more off. I believe I had a chance. Well, in that instance, it's in hindsight, and of course, hindsight is 20/20. I could have just taken it all off, and just accepted a small profit. And the main reason that I would have done that is because just looking at this price action, this is really weak price action, and this is actually the price action that, honestly, from just to use the best word that I can use, frustrate me the most. Like, I don't like this kind of price action where we're just kind of bouncing around within this tight range where it's not, have any real direction. It's kind of going back and forth. So, it's mentally, this kind of price action puts me in a bad way. And I end up having to I end up holding the trade much longer than I probably should, usually when this happens. Now, before, especially when I trade the strategy as designed 100%, a lot of times I am able to, even when I get this price action that I don't like, I'm able to, end up with a little bit of profit from it. I've been able to end up green in every time I had this kind of price action that I don't like. But I think the main problem here was that I didn't trade with the actual direction that the strategy was telling me to trade. So just because I'm looking at, the momentum and who has control right now based off the structure and off the price action at the open of the market. But as the time went, progressed, as we went on deeper into the morning session, that started to change. So right there, you can see that I took a second lot off of that position right there. And at this point, I'm still not seeing. I'm still looking at it, bearish. As if we break this low right here, I think that it could run a little bit. We can have some momentum to the short side. However, of course, that did not happen. We never got back even close to being, that location. At this point, I don't remember where I placed my target. It's down below, what we can see right now. But I did move it eventually. So once we had that pullback right there, I'm looking at it possibly, reversing this position and taking it long if we break this 330 level. But the only thing about that is usually I don't, when I've done it before in my earlier years of trading, reversing a position never worked out for me, and I haven't practiced it. So I'm not going to just, off the fly, just do something that I'm not familiar with and that I'm not 100% confident in. So I didn't do that. But in hindsight, of course, hindsight capital says that would have worked out, and it would have worked out big because I was reading it correctly. It's just that since I haven't practiced it, that's not something that I do. That's not part of my strategy. It's not part of my plan. I didn't act on what I saw right there. And, that part, while, yeah, I could have made some money doing that, I don't, that it's a good thing that I didn't act on that because, once you start acting outside of, what you've already planned and your strategy, then you start building bad habits. And eventually those bad habits will catch up to you, like it always has before with me. That's from personal experience. You can take that for whatever that means for you. So at this point, I'm definitely looking at it the long side. I know we're gonna I'm seeing this battle right here. This is a battle zone, and I'm seeing it, and I'm it would be nice for it to trade lower, but I'm looking at this as I'm going that it's going to trade higher. Now, just to give some more hindsight capital, you see this order right here. That was my first load in. Originally, when I entered the trade, it wasn't for this size right here. So like after I unloaded a couple of those contracts from the initial position, I decreased the size of the scale in order to load into the trade, and also I did the same. No, I didn't touch this one up here, but I did decrease the size of this order right here, but I kept it there. But in hindsight, actually I could have removed this. Is looking at just seeing that if we break this right here, if we break out of this consolidation, then we can trade higher and it can go, there's a lot of potential to the upside if it breaks all of this consolidation right there, because we have shorters here that have stop losses up here. Then also people who are looking to take this on the break, to take it long on the break. There's a lot of reasons as to why we could, the price could be driven higher, much higher, if we break out of this consolidation right here. So in hindsight, I could have removed this order and just kept this order up here if my plan was still to load into the trade. Also at this time, I did have thoughts before this counter right here, like while we were still within the high and low of the power range, I did have thoughts of just killing the trade there, and also thoughts that I could have just killed it for a small loss on this last two contracts. I would have still ended up green for the day, but I didn't act on that. I just I wanted to just hold it and let it play out. Of course, you can always say what you could have did and how it could have been better, but that's just explaining, that's just giving insight to what I was thinking at the time. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and fast forward a little bit. We know I actually ended up getting filled on those load ins, and you can see right here, price shot through that load in. So that's why I say that I could have actually removed that one and just had this one up here, which would have worked out better for averaging, for adjusting my cost base average to a better location. So you can see that second load in was filled, and now once I'm at this point, I'm seeing some bearish potential right here. And this is why I get so frustrated with this kind of price action, because most of the time when it does this, my average price will be right where the support is for this choppy, tight range based price action. And right here you can see I tried to offload most of the position right there by hitting the buy ask, but it didn't fill it. So I had to go ahead and cancel that order and figure out another way of how I could get out of it. So I ended up putting the limit order. We'll see in a minute after I put some notes. And right here, I'm thinking about, I'm hoping. You got to use the real words. I'm hoping that it goes back below my average price right there. But the price just kept bouncing right on top of my average price. So frustration is building in. I wanted to drop lower, but it doesn't want to drop lower. But I can honestly see why. That it's, if I look at the volume, this is where all the volume is. Like even before we got these last two candles right there, all the volume was was right above my average price. So it makes sense why we have support there. But of course I would have liked for the price to have dropped a little lower, and I was just waiting for that. But eventually I got to the point where I just got tired of waiting on it. And so once I got to a decent location, I went ahead and just killed the order. So in hindsight, in summary, I definitely did better than. It's not as bad of a loss as the one that I took earlier, where I hit the max drawdown. The one that I took earlier this month. But it's been a interesting month. Having two, red days within this month, and both. But the good thing about it is all on me. So I can definitely. That's something that I can definitely do something about. And also part of this is there is still some leftover. I guess I could say like emotions or whatever from the other day when I had that drawdown, where I hit the max drawdown. So I'm still kind of internally battling that and trying to fully get past that, because what has happened is like this week this loss was bigger than the profit that I made the other 2 days of the week, and even last week. But the only reason that is because I'm kind of trading passively and I'm not being as aggressive with the strategy as I should be, all because I'm still I still got the feeling or the energy of that that max drawdown. I'm still holding on to that a little bit, so I need to figure out a way to fully get past that and to where it's not affecting what I'm doing right now. So I gotta completely leave that on that day in the past and just get back to the way that I was trading before. I had that pretty much a mental breakdown when I hit that max drawdown. So that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about on this red day recap. And like I said before, the purpose of me even sharing this kind of stuff, because I really don't have to share it. Now I understand, I get the comments about what people think that I should do or what I should have done, or their ideas of the right way to trade versus the way the wrong way to trade, or versus how I trade or whatever. And that's fine. I don't mind it at all. I appreciate your comments, whatever your comments may be. So with all that being said, go ahead and if you feel free to hit up the comment section for whatever you want to any questions that you may have, or however you want to respond. But at the end of the day, the reason that I'm posting these recaps and all of these videos, and I'm putting my trades out there to the public, is because I want to be able to, my goal is to be able to help other traders through my experience, right? So when I learn stuff, I try to share it as much as quickly as I can. And also, as I go through this stuff, and I try to share it so that maybe someone else can pick it up and don't make the same mistakes that I do, or they're able to progress through their journey or through their career a little bit more efficient than I did. So with this little VLC, whatever. On that note, I'm gonna go ahead and kill or end this. I'm still using trading terms. On that note, I'm going ahead and wrap this video up, and hope y'all have a good rest of the day, good weekend, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Trade it easy.